Hi, I'm Alison and I teach saxophone and clarinet with Your Space music lessons. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to improve the sound that you make and how to achieve a good tone. So over the years I've worked to get a particular tone. My aim is to play with a bright, bold and funky sound. A large part of that is the artists I listen to, and that's the way I want to go with my sound, and I've practiced it and copied the approach of other saxophonists, and there is hours of practice involved there. However, it's not just a matter of practice makes perfect. In fact, actually there's a lot more to it. It is also largely down to your instrument and your mouthpiece. So whilst your personal skill on the instrument is a limiting factor, I'm really recommending here that you consider your instrument choice and your mouthpiece. Am I recommending a second mortgage to afford to buy a professional instrument? Well, no, that's not always realistic. Most beginner and intermediate players can't afford to make the substantial investment to buy a professional level instrument, especially if they don't know if they're going to stick with it long term. However, I would say the better instrument you can afford now, the better your sound will be in the long run, and it will be easier to make progress. A brief aside here, a message for school and university students. If you are serious about continuing music to a high level and you're in full-time education, then there's no better time to purchase a top-notch instrument. As a full-time student, you can benefit from numerous bursaries and grants, plus VAT-free purchasing through schools, and you're never going to get a better discount after you leave full-time education. So if you do love playing your instrument, then buy the best you can afford right now, because it actually represents a saving, as it may last you a lifetime rather than upgrading later. But once you've got your instrument, it's vital then to think about your mouthpiece. A lot of students and parents think that the mouthpiece that comes in the box with your instrument is all that you'll need. However, if you've bought a new instrument, and you'll probably be feeling really chuffed with the improvement from your old one, and that you might not need to splash out on a mouthpiece. But actually, for a little extra money relatively, you can bring your playing up to the next level of quality, which may have otherwise cost hundreds of pounds to get the next tier of instrument. The mouthpiece is the most important part of the instrument because it's inside the mouthpiece that the sound is shaped. It's the internal geometry of the bore of the mouthpiece that changes the sound. Small changes in the size of the bore, chamber and tip opening will dramatically alter the sound you achieve and how the instrument feels when you play. For example, a small chamber size, like this mouthpiece, produces a brighter and more free-blowing sound, whereas a larger chamber size, like my classical mouthpiece, my Selma C-Star, will give you a softer, darker sound. The sound you prefer is personal taste, but depends also on the types of music you want to play. The closer the reed is to the baffle, which my baffle is, you can see here, there isn't going to be much space between the reed and this, and that will give me the bright, powerful tone, whereas there's a lot of space in this one, my classical mouthpiece, which won't be as bright and powerful, but will be darker and more subtle and more appropriate to classical playing. So different mouthpiece geometry work for different genres and styles. And so it is worth having a couple of different mouthpieces. So I've got several. I've got ones for jazz playing. I've got a Sios, a Shape Your Own Sound mouthpiece. And I've got here a Cloud Lakey I absolutely love. And then for classical, I have a Selma C-Star, and I've also got a Mayer as well. For classical playing, I think a Selma C-Star is probably my favourite classical mouthpiece. It's smooth, full-bodied sound, and jazz saxophonists, however, would want to opt for something with a higher baffle. Choice of mouthpiece is an individual thing, and each musician will be at ease with a particular tip opening. Sios, who make this mouthpiece, describe it as a bit like your shoe size. If you get the wrong tip opening, it's not going to work. You do need to do your research. The good thing about Sios, which is a relatively new company who custom make the mouthpieces, You can try before you buy, in that they send you it. If it's not quite right, you can send it back. Most mouthpieces, you can't do that. Once you've bought it, that's it. So it is important to do your research. Talk to your teacher before you make an investment. However, what I would say is that do consider your mouthpiece, do consider your instrument. It's often the easiest way to improve your quality of sound, as well as you practicing and regular lessons. It will make a difference. So talk to your teacher about mouthpieces. Okay, thank you, bye.